is going down through the entire town, wreaking anarchy and all it brings. I can't sit idly, no, I can't move at all. I curse the name, the one behind it all. Discord, I'm howling at the moon and sleeping in the middle of a summer afternoon. Discord, whatever did we do to make you take our world away? Discord, are we a prey alone, or are we just a stepping stone for taking back the throne? Discord, we won't take it anymore, so take your tyranny away.
Welcome to the Geek Bar Reviews My Little Pony Vlogs. This is the third one I am doing today, and we'll go over episodes 10 through 12. First off is episode 10, Swarm of the Century. This one is different, to say the least, and starts off with Twilight Sparkle and the other ponies waiting for Princess Celestia to arrive in Ponyville. They're preparing and all, and Fluttershy ends up finding a cute creature that's they don't know about yet. It's this little ball thing. I don't really know how to describe it, but it's cute looking and relatively harmless looking. And well, Fluttershy takes it back to town. So the other ponies become pretty much obsessed with these things. They seem to be very popular and very cute, despite the fact that it seems to have this odd ability to reproduce rather quickly and mysteriously. No one knows what's going on with that. And each seem to adopt their own, except for Pinkie Pie. She's the only one who doesn't. She kind of starts to look for musical instruments, weirdly enough, and no one ever knows what she's doing. So the next day, there are so many Parasprites in Ponyville by the name Parasprites, or what they're called. Pinkie Pie had mentioned that. And they start to eat all the food around. Eventually, Twilight puts a spell to basically stop them from eating food, so they just start eating everything else. It's like these things just eat and don't stop, and it's obvious that's how they reproduce. And it even shows them reproducing. Basically, it seems like they spit up hairballs that become other Parasprites, which is just really weird. And it's fun, though, that it irritates Rarity, because I don't like Rarity, and anything that irritates her makes me smile. So they start, like I said, they start eating everything in town and the town itself. But then Pinkie Pie suddenly arrives out of nowhere as this one pony band, playing all the instruments herself, and which starts to seem to entrance the Parasprites. She leads them right out of town just as Princess Celestia arrives. The princess seems to think that it's a parade for her, and so no one's going to deny that, just let it go. But she ends up apologizing to Twilight and the others, saying that another town has some infestation problem, obviously hinting that Parasprites are invading everywhere. So, in the end, Twilight and her friends apologize to Pinkie for doubting her strange and random behavior. And Pinkie promises to tell them what she's doing in the future. So, it's not a bad episode, it just isn't that good. That's not the problem, it's just not that special. It's just not something that you really get into. You get my point. Well, that's about it for episode 10. There's really nothing else to explain about it. So, episode 11. Apart from Dragonshy, this is probably one of my more favorite episodes. I don't know if it'd quite beat out the first two, though. But it's episode 11, Winter Wrap-Up. This basically starts out with Twilight Sparkle. She's very eager and very excited to participate in the Winter Wrap-Up for Ponyville. It explains that the Winter Wrap-Up is basically how the ponies get spring underway after winter's over. And it explains that while in whatever the place they're from, Twilight's from originally, I can't remember what it's called. Canterlot's. My brother is right here, so yeah, he helped me with that. So in Canterlot's, apparently they use magic to just instantly wrap up winter. However, in Ponyville, they don't use magic, mainly because Ponyville was founded by Earth ponies. And I really actually like that they did that. It shows that they actually have a lot of history invested into this area and the show in general. And it actually shows a lot more than it's just some little girl's show. So at this point, when they're starting to prepare for the winter wrap-up and everything without using magic, there's this big winter wrap-up song. This is probably my favorite song that's sung in the show so far. I mean, yes, unlike before where the music was kind of like, what is Pinkie Pie doing? Why is she singing? This time it's like everybody's doing it and it seems more like a musical, but it's still just really good. As I said, everybody's singing it. It's sort of like it's still like as not like musical style, but everybody's joining in, sort of like how it's sort of like part of the winter wrap-up celebration itself. That's what it seems like. And it's a really good song for a show like this. Anyways, Twilight wants to help out. She wants to. It's her first time in Ponyville for the winter wrap-up, and she wants to help out in any way she can. She knows she can't use her magic and finds that to be a struggle. So she overhears the various team leaders and decides to try and help them. She does a bunch of different stuff to try and help, like she wants to try and help Rainbow Dash with the clouds, even though she soon realizes that's not even possible. She tries to help Pinkie Pie cut the ice on the lakes to make them easier to melt, but she can't use ice skates, so there's a lot of stuff. But anyways, eventually, after she's pretty much bawling her eyes out and hiding over the fact that she can't do anything and seems to be unable to help in any way, she hears the different team leaders start to argue over the timing of the activities, and they are worried that it might not complete in time. The mayor even says that the past few winter wrap-ups, spring has come late because of all this arguing and mismanagement.
Unorganization.
It's at this point that Twilight realizes that organization is, well, she knows that's what she's good at, and she realizes that's what this needs. So she steps in, offering to use her skills of organization to help get the winter wrap-up back on track. Everybody accepts it right away because they know she's an organized pony. They know that's what she's good at. And it happens. She helps them successfully complete the wrap-up on time. And they basically give her the job of official wrap-up coordinator for the future. It's not a very detail-oriented episode, but like I said, with a lot of the stuff they mention about the past and how Ponyville was started by Earth ponies, stuff like that, it's really nice to see. And, I mean, it has a good message about everybody has their own specific skill sets, and they should not really try too hard to focus on doing everything, or they should focus only on what they're good at. But, I mean, it shows it in a nice way. So yeah, it's a good episode with a great song. And honestly, out of all the other episodes, which seem to be very generic, very basic, it's a really good one, and I like it. So on to episode 12, the most recent one I've watched. I literally just finished watching this. It's called Call of the Cutie. This one, it's an interesting one. It's not too good. This one's more about feeling accepted and learning that you don't need to necessarily have other people's acceptance to be happy, because there's always going to be someone who will accept you, and that you don't need to go out and look for it all the time. This episode focuses almost entirely on Apple Bloom, who is Applejack's younger sister, I believe. Well, Apple Bloom is worried when two of her stuck-up classmates, Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon, have gotten their cutie marks, and she didn't. This is also the first episode, by the way, to actually explain what those are. Because, I mean, you've seen them in every episode. All the ponies have them. They're the little designs on their butts, to put it simply.
Punches.
The cutie marks are basically just a symbol. They don't really do anything. They're just a symbol that explains what the pony is good at.
Yeah.
What's so special about them. And Apple Bloom is being taunted and called a blank flank because she doesn't have hers. And it's really hurting her because she really wants to feel special. She wants to be accepted for all the wrong reasons, to be honest. So she starts striving to find her own talent. She wants to get her mark and find out what she's good at and what makes her special. So she asks Applejack, but Applejack is pretty much no help. She just says you have to wait. So she goes on. She ends up asking others. She asks Rainbow Dash, who pretty much tries to put her through this intense workout type thing to try and find her cutie mark, but it doesn't work. She asks Pinkie Pie and makes really bad cupcakes. She asks Twilight. She pretty much forces Twilight to use her magic to try and give her a cutie mark, but the cutie mark doesn't last, and it goes multiple times. There's a whole bunch of different ones, but they always disappear because they're not her real cutie mark. And I mean, some of them you see. There's even one cutie mark one of those temporary cutie marks that's 3 footballs, and that one made me laugh. I mean, it's like, why footballs? Do ponies even play football? But anyways, after she ends up doing all that, she's in where she was making the cupcakes, the failed cupcakes with Pinkie Pie, and she realizes that's where the cute Quinceañera, obviously a play on Latin quinceañera, is. And it's a celebration, basically, for Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon's cutie marks. So she finds that she's there, but she really doesn't want to because she doesn't have her cutie mark. She's embarrassed and all. And she tries to escape in, honestly, the most obviously cartoon ways possible, like hiding under a table. And you get the idea. But, however, she is discovered and teased by her classmates. And, I mean, she tries to hide it, though, with a table apron, curtain, tablecloth. And it doesn't end up working because she trips over it and reveals herself, and yeah. But 2 other fillies who reveal that they also lack cutie marks, too. And they stick up for her, and all her friends stick up for her as well. And the 2 fillies, Scootaloo and Sweetie Belle, just pretty much convince her that not having a cutie mark pretty much means she has all this potential in the world to find out what she's best at. And it really cheers her up, and even after the party, she ends up talking with the 2 and deciding to form the Cutie Mark Crusaders, their own little group, and plan to earn their cutie marks together as friends. And, I mean, that's a good episode. And when we think about it, it does focus on acceptance, and that's a very real issue for little girls who watch the show, as well as anyone, really. Acceptance is a very strong issue for people in general, because everybody wants to feel accepted. So it's very cool to see this. And, I mean, there's a song in it, like with some of the other episodes, but it's a short one. It's called the Cupcake Song, and it's sung by Pinkie Pie just for a few seconds. It's not the same cupcake thing that is by the same people who made Smile HD. It's not that.
Mr. Davy.
It's just a short little thing while they're making cupcakes or failing to make cupcakes. It's not a big deal. It's not like the winter wrap-up song. But, like I said, it's a good episode. It serves its purpose, and that's about it. That's as far as I've gotten on the episodes so far. There's 26 in this season. Before I get to Season 2, which is what I'm waiting for so I can see Discord. So, I'm probably going to continue to do 3-episode vlogs from this point on, so I can just continue faster. So, with that being said, this is the Geek BAH signing out for now. See y'all next time.